Hello, hello. All right, let me get myself started. I was just watching The Mad Magician on Svengoolie. That's my kind of horror movie, is the old stuff with Vincent Price and things like that. I don't like gore and I don't like jump scares, and I'm just very, very picky in the end when it comes to horror movies. But uh, but I do like Svengoolie. I mean, mm, it's always kind of a trade-off because, of course, with the old movies, it's kind of a crapshoot whether you get like decent female portrayals, and depending on what era you're in, you may see only white people getting murdered and such. But well, I mean, I guess that's a plus. God, that's a horrible thing to say. Um, it's good to see more representation. I like some of the older like 60s, 70s monster stuff too, where they just kind of you have a rich guy on an island and you have his friends and then the crocodiles or something murder them. That's always fun. Yeah, I realized what I said came out more racist than I meant it to be. Well, I'm gonna have to work on that. And the 70s era is kind of a sweet spot because you do start getting more in terms of representation overall, but still the more cartoony quality, that where it's not like torture porn and or jump scares and things like that. So, but the older stuff's still fun too. And I know there are a few newer movies that kind of hit that vibe, but it's hard to tell which ones are going to be more that vibe versus some of the others. And so I'm always kind of cautious with newer movies, horror movies, that is. I'm pretty sure Anaconda's probably fine. I haven't seen it though. I should watch it. Like Snakes on a Plane, of course. It's fine. I think maybe just if it's an animal, it's probably fine. Sharknado. I love the first Sharknado. I don't think I've seen any of the others though. God, people were so mean to Tara Reid in the 90s. They really were. It's awful. She didn't deserve that. I remember when she was pretty popular and it was like American Pie had just come out and so she was one of those party girls and poor thing. I mean, the worst you can ever say of her, like anything she'd done, at least per the tabloids, I think she drank a lot and maybe had some plastic surgery that didn't go well and poor thing. People are just so mean. And it's like when you compare that to some of the shit other celebrities have pulled, you're like, why were we so mean to this girl whose only crime was to like drink irresponsibly? And if that were a real crime, I mean, anyone who's been to college would have an issue, right? That's awful. I will say Ian Ziering, though I've never liked the way he pronounces his name, did age very well because he looked good in the tornado movies, Sharknado movies. Can't believe I called it a tornado. I'm old. I'm old and no one should ever listen to me. That's the thing. Hmm. Okay. Hi, Fleecy. Oh, yes, I am fishing. Just for 5 minutes. Well, 40 seconds. How are you? How are you? I was looking at Twitter. Someone on my Twitter feed is watching Hannibal, the TV show, and commenting. I started watching that, but I really couldn't get through it. It's like, I do appreciate the homoerotic overtones, don't get me wrong, but eh, the serial killing got a bit much. I will say sometimes folks who there are fans who always kind of get moral judgment. Ah, that's cool. I hope you guys had fun together. I just watched Svengoolie. I was watching Vincent Price and the Mad Magician with my folks who are upstairs. If I'm unlucky, perhaps they'll pop down and forget I'm on and talk to me again, and I'll be like a teenager going, "Mom, I'm filming my thing." Aw, well, that's the best kind of friendship when you miss him already. I am 41 years old, I should point out, but I do still live in my parents' basement, and thus I am socially inept. In my defense, years, well, actually, I think it was about 9 years, I did not live with my parents. I moved back in during COVID because they were afraid I wouldn't feed myself. Um, because I don't cook. And they're like, the restaurants are closing. You're going to starve. And fair. And then I just never left. I just started paying them rent, and there you go. All right. Well, let's see. Where did I leave off? Oh, yes, new murder. Yay. So the game, I am playing a trilogy right now called the Blackguard Trilogy, which Twitch does not like the name of. And whenever I try to put the name into OBS, it warns me that the moderators may not like it. And I think it's because blackguard may have some sort of derogatory meaning in one of the English-speaking languages, like might be a slur. I hope not, but I kind of think that might be what it is. So that's why it says BG Trilogy. The point of this module is to be evil, and not subtle evil, not intelligent evil, not sophisticated evil, just basically murdering shit evil. And this is my character. She has an eye patch. It's not the same eye patch as the portrait, but what can you do? It's actually pretty good considering. Yeah, it's not very subtle. Um, I one of the reasons I like this module is it was like one of the first ones I played after playing the original campaign. And in the original campaign, you can't really do a lot of evil stuff. Ooh, a sort of evil run in Baldur's Gate 3? Awesome, awesome. Now, I will say the spin-off, well, not spin-offs, the expansion pack storyline for Neverwinter Nights, Shadows of Undertide and Hordes of the Underdark, you can do quite a bit of evil, and I did. If you go on YouTube sometime and find my playlist for Faerun's Mom of the Year, that's me playing those with my character Vipsania. The angle of this looks wrong. One sec. And the thing with Vipsania was that she was a very evil wizard who stole a baby at the very beginning of the game and carried the baby everywhere and endangered it horribly. Abigail cannot be. This is Abigail. She cannot be trusted with a baby. I don't know what she'd do with a baby. I I don't feel like she's the sort to intentionally well, she'll kill anybody. She'll just but she wouldn't like torture something well, she might. She's kind of horrible. But I feel like with a baby, she's more likely to just forget about it and leave it somewhere, which has its own problems. So what am I doing now? I saw those. For Fargrock's ingredients, I am looking for a tagot plant. The leaves are very toxic. I might need to find the forest. By dark path, control is the most important virtue. To have a lack of control is to be weak, and it will result in my own destruction. Well, that's good to know. And we are hunting a ranger named Travio. We think he may be living with his brother in the high forest to the east. All right. So now I'm going to go murder some guy. For no crime, really, that I know of, except to piss off my organization. But, it's all right. Aw, that's so sweet, Fleecy. I appreciate being someone's favorite Neverwinter streamer. There are not very many Neverwinter Nights streamers, I have to admit. There are a few. A lot of them play persistent worlds, which is really cool. They're kind of like mini MMORPGs. I don't play them because I know I would get horribly addicted, and I can only afford a couple of addictions at a time. Right now, I'm reading a lot of Mage the Ascension for a tabletop game that'll probably never get off the ground, which is my one addiction. And my other addiction is, well, of course, playing these. Another Eden, which is a cell phone game involving a JRPG themes and a cat. Lots of cats. What is my other addiction? I was reading some Stargate Atlantis fan fiction the other day, which was a weird tangent. But there you go. I'm not quite re-addicted to that though yet. Oh hey, I did not intentionally click that, but it worked. All right, and there's a commoner. Hello, commoner. Hi, stranger. Well, I guess I've got no reason to murder you. I'm a pretty fast reader. I don't know how I compare to other people, but I think I'm the fastest reader I know. It, but a lot of it's mood dependent. I read pretty fast on my own unless I'm trying to like really pay attention to something, and then I might read slower. Like I said, how that compares to other people, I don't know. It has been very helpful taking standardized tests, though. Oh, hey, I get to murder some bandits. Well, that's adorable. Let's kill these bandits. Ah, these are tougher bandits than usual. What level are these bandits? Goodness sake, I'm like a reasonably high level. I forgot to fucking buy potions. Alright, well, this might not last long. I was gonna buy potions and I forgot. I might just let them kill me and go buy some potions before I leave. There we go. Alright, let's go buy some potions. I forgot that I forgot to go resupply. I sold shit, but I didn't buy shit. Alright. Hi. Yes, I would like to see your wares, please. So let's see, what am I looking at for potions? I've got 7 potions there. I've got 2 heal potions, which I'm trying not to use, and 1 of these. Fantastic. Alright. I don't really think that'll even heal me enough to be worthwhile at this point. Hmm. Alright. So what are you up to, Fleecy? Are you still aside from your evil, well, what kind of things are you doing on your evil Baldur's Gate run? What class are you playing? And are you playing like an elf or a dwarf or something else cool? Tell me, tell me. I like to hear. I've heard you could do a lot of fun, clever things in Baldur's Gate 3. Like they really give you a lot of options to solve quests in different ways. I think that's awesome. All right, so let's buy some more of these. 4, 5, 6, 7. You're a half-elf paladin oathbreaker. Oh, okay. So oathbreaker, I guess. Okay, that must be how third edition, how fifth edition does like dual classing. Okay, so I'm guessing Oathbreaker is an evil version of the paladin. That's cool. That's cool. I'm not really all that familiar with fifth edition. Aside from playing in a Vector of Changes game, so I'm always really interested to see what they do. You're not sure what the storyline entails, but your character loves murder. Well, you know what? That seems good. Good in my book. It's always good to murder. I should probably put a warning whenever this at some point in the near future because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to murder a bunch of children in the storyline at some point. I don't really remember. I only remember a few things from the story, but I feel like I remember fight. I feel like I remember fighting Drist at one point, which is fun if you're a old-fashioned D&D fan. Yeah, your paladin broke his oath, and the Oathbreaker Knight made him change. Gotcha, gotcha. You murdered innocent tieflings. Well, that'll do it. Oathbreaker is the anti-paladin. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. That makes sense. That makes sense. Always glad to see options. Yeah, I don't really remember here what else there is, but I feel like the fact that I'm 90% certain there's an orphanage somewhere up here, means that I'm going to end up murdering small children. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Oh, he's very handsome. Oh, well, that's interesting. Oh, well, sometimes you gotta have a handsome villain. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard The Acolyte is good for Star Wars. I was never much of a Reylo. I did not like Kylo Ren, but Manny Jacinto, is that how you pronounce his name? I hope so. Is very, very attractive. So I can see that temptation. All right, back to talking to this commoner, and let's go kill some bandits who are inexplicably powerful for bandits because bandits usually are not so powerful. Do you get portraits in Baldur's Gate? Oh no, no, I think you get to make your face. I'm always really bad at that. My character. Oh, you basically made Rufus Shinra? Nice. Well, that is a good-looking guy. I have to say the remake did him well from what I saw. The actually though, you know who the remake did really well for was Reeve. Ooh, Reeve is always my favorite. I have weird taste for Final Fantasy characters. Everyone's like, Reeve, really? Yeah, yeah. What can I say? I like the accidentally moral guy working for the amoral people who starts off spying on the good guys, but eventually turns on his bad guy uh, leadership because they are so bad. It's very much a type. The spy who decides he likes the good guy better is a trope I've always been very fond of. I kind of like I'm also fond of the character who is on the dark side because they've been raised to not know anything different, and then ideally eventually becomes a good guy because they learn better. That's also a trope I like. I'm probably gonna have to ditch most of this shit soon enough, but that's okay. Right now, we will steal their shit because they killed me, or they tried one time. Yeah, you're kind of right about that. You know what? I'm at the entrance. Let's go. Let's go back to town and sell this stuff. Maybe, 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 maybe. I actually tend to be more of a hero fancier, though. Um, I like them bland. I've tried to figure out the links in my favorite characters, like which characters I like best, and it's hard for me to find a some common thread. But there's definitely one because most of my friends can figure out pretty quickly if I'm watching. Cyrus is very pretty. I don't know that Cyrus is my favorite in Octopath, but he is very pretty. Well, yeah, Rashka, I think we've discussed the new She-Ra. It's like I tried watching it, and I can say that from what I could tell, it is very good, and it does what it sets out to do. The problem is, I watched the original She-Ra when I was 5 years old, and I imprinted very, very heavily. And so I cannot watch. I can't watch it. The new She-Ra, I can tell is good. This is not a judgment on the new She-Ra, but I cannot watch it. I've just that and occasionally sometimes the fan base would piss me off because they get really, really smug about, oh, look at it. It's so much better than the filmation, the original animation where everyone looked like Barbie dolls, etc. I'm like, hi, in 1985, well, I watched it, so it was 1988 when I watched it, but I'm pretty sure it was reruns at that point in time, but maybe not. It's like in 1988, that was a big fucking deal, guys. In 1988, the expressiveness of the characters was really important. And in 1988, guys, the themes and such that they were able to show and express was important. The Filmation Studios under Lou Schreiber was full of LGBT creators, according to the folks behind the scenes, and they really had Bibles, and they were where they and where they were making a point of empowering girls, and like they really, really did bend over backwards. Like they had rules about the episodes, about how to make sure that the male characters weren't ever accidentally put in a position to like upstage the female characters, which can be a problem in media back then. So it's like they tried really hard. Yes, the new version is better. It does so much better. It does so much effortlessly better. But I hate with people just dismissing the past because they don't understand that it was the fucking past, you know? I kind of get that way with Rocky Horror Picture Show sometimes when you have really, really young queer folk who are like, it's it's caricatured, it's got problematic elements and so on. It's like, yes, yes, it does. But it's like when it was made, it was groundbreaking. I like Rocky Horror Picture Show that much, but young people bitching about it can make me defensive, even though they're right. Mm. Filmation animation is incredible. You can't watch old She-Ra through or new She-Ra through. And it's okay. It's okay. I actually was really fond of He-Man, and it's funny that I say that. People kind of blink at me for that, but I think He-Man was excellent too. And I mean, they weren't quite as conscious of the whole. Well, one, there's the whole old She-Ra. Well, I guess if you're used to the new She-Ra, it would be hard to get through the old She-Ra. But I loved the old She-Ra, and I loved old He-Man. That's one. No remake of He-Man has ever gotten it right. Because no remake of He-Man has figured it out. Like She-Ra, yeah, I think the new remake of She-Ra has gotten it right. Just that I'm too attached to the old She-Ra, and thus I can't update. But that's me. That's a me problem. But no remake of He-Man has gotten it right yet. And the reason for this is very, very simple. The reason no remake of He-Man has worked is because the remakes do not understand that Prince Adam, He-Man, is fucking gay. And he's a bottom. He-Man is a bottom. Yes. It's very, very obvious. He never has a love interest. Folks will try to ship him with Tila a lot, but they were always platonic. He spends most of his time with Man at Arms, who has a porn stash, by the way. But it's like if he's ever on a picnic or something with anybody, it's either, Orko or one of the sidekicks, or he's with Man at Arms. I'm just saying, he's gay. He wears pink and lavender. I'm glad, Fleecy. I, but the thing is, it's like this was pink and purple and lavender. Pink and lavender he was wearing. This wasn't something done in the 1920s where they didn't know what they were doing. In 1988, you see a man. Well, I think He-Man was a little earlier than that. So 1983, you see a man wearing pink and lavender tights. He was gay. It's like he did it on purpose. They knew what they were doing. He was gay. And no remake has ever quite realized that was on purpose. And that's why they get them wrong. One day they will have someone but I don't think they're going to ever be brave enough. Yeah, exactly, Fleecy. I don't think they're ever going to be brave enough because they want young boys to watch He-Man, and we don't we don't really let young well a we don't let young boys be clueless, and we don't let we get freaked out by the idea of young boys being exposed to anything that is gay. So so they'll straighten He-Man up and they won't acknowledge a damn thing, and they'll be like, see, it's fine. And it's like, I honestly think that young boys would be fine with a gay He-Man. People just don't give kids enough credit. Thundercats were all naked furries, but we don't even talk about that. Ah, the the bara, that's what they call that, Rashke. The bara trope. He-Man's not quite the bara trope, but it was definitely on purpose. The Water Baroness does a great job. My character hates the Water Baroness. Yep. They must I'm very fond of the gay muscle trope. Honestly, watching a bunch, aw, you might have an early awakening. Nice. Um, I will say watching He-Man as an adult, or watching the first 5 episodes of She-Ra that made its own movie, The Secret of the Sword, so her origin story explains so much of my taste as an adult. There's badass temporarily evil women beating up men, and a whole lot of men in bondage. And I'm like, yep, yep, this explains it. This explains it. Actually, most episodes of He-Man involves Adam in bondage at some point. The reason for this, of course, is so that they can have that point where he's really strong and he can burst out of the bonds. But until that happens, of course, then you've got a man writhing around in chains and or force fields, and it's like a 5-year-old me apparently imprinted. It explains so much. I will say one of the remakes did actually make add things to the canon that were in the Bible, but they never actually included it in the show. I find the series Bibles for He-Man and She-Ra really interesting because they're actually quite involved. Like the villainous evil Lynn in the 80s He-Man was actually from Earth, just like Queen Marlena. I don't re- There's a whole origin story for her too. I don't remember how she ended up being a evil sorceress, but she came essentially she was part of the same whole space flute thing that Marlena was. I think they were on the same crew. And Marlena got rescued by the king, and Evelyn did not. I think she might have been rescued by Skeletor, or just like ended up running into Skeletor. The other cool thing from the vibe. Oh, plot time. Take a pin in that. I need to see what's going on in the plot. Is that a fucking fairy? Not the fairy I'm thinking of. I'm here to warn you, Dark One. This is a land of nature. Talos' will has no power here. Go back where you came from. You suffer nature's wrath. Consider yourself warned. I like that design for the fairy. That is a cool design for the fairy. I think I'm gonna go murder some fairies. Considering what we were just talking about, that is an awkward segue. Anyway, the other thing that did end up appearing in one of the remakes. Thundercats did that doesn't hold up as well, though. I have to say, it occurs to me. It's it the plots are not as sophisticated. And I realize that's a weird thing to say if you're watching 80s He-Man or She-Ra, but like if you watch 80s He-Man and She-Ra, there's a fairly clear, coherent narrative. The characters, what they do makes sense, and it's very episodic. That's the downside, and it's a little preachy at parts because that was one of the things that they wanted to have in there was lessons for kids, on how to treat each other well and so on. But I think overall it is it's watchable for me as an adult. Think I have a higher tolerance than you, Rushke. But Thundercats is nigh original Thundercats anyway is nigh unwatchable for me. It's just no. I want to because I really like Tigra, and none of the remakes do Tigra justice because they're like, oh no, we're gonna make him Lion-O's adopted brother, and we're gonna make him jealous and shit like that. And it's like, oh come on, guys. He was vaguely gay and originally, and you just can't deal with that. He wasn't even vaguely gay. He had a thing going on with Shira or Chitara, so he wasn't even vaguely gay. He was just vaguely effeminate, and people couldn't handle that because he had a whip and would turn invisible and was kind of the sensitive, actual leader type compared to the rambunctious, hyper-aged child. And that is not a trope that I guess people can deal with well. I'm defensive of that. Anyway, the other thing that did make it in the remakes and was in the series Bible for He-Man but was never on the 80s show is um is that Skeletor is actually King Randor's long lost younger brother, Keldor. I don't remember how he turned into a skeleton, but he's actually He-Man's uncle, which I think is a great bit, and I wish they'd found a way to introduce that again. Oh, there's a corpse. So what's going on here? Am I going to be murdering something that's already murdered people? I feel like that's kind of missing the point here. On the plus side, healing potion. So, yeah, I do like hyper-aged children too, though. That's always a trope I enjoy. See also Earth Final Conflict. Oh, a dryad. Oh, she's red. That means I can murder her. Wonderful. And some fairies. I get to murder the fairies. I may have to reload because I think I'm going to get murdered by the fairies first, but assuming I can survive long enough to get this fucking daze off my head, I can murder some fairies. That'll be fun. All right, come on, come on. All right, there we go. Hi. Oh, fuck. They got me good. All right, well, at least I killed the dryad. Hi. Oh, that sound effect. I love that there's a very satisfying sound effect when you murder the pixies. That's awful, isn't it? I'm terrible. I'm a horrible person. All right. Okay. Some more 80s TV show or cartoon shows that I have an opinion about. Actually kind of miss maybe they were early 90s. I feel like there was a lot more like mindless mindless cartoons for girls and boys when I was a kid that they really don't seem to have now. And I think that's kind of sad. I keep thinking of Princess Guinevere and the Dream Riders, for example, which was a terrible show. I don't even remember what it was about. I don't believe that Princess Guinevere had anything to do with King Arthur, and there were ponies, but still, it was for girls, and it was nice that it was around. And I can't think of anything really equivalent to that nowadays. And I'm gonna get murdered by leopards, and I did not save recently, did I? Fuck. All right, all right. Well, let's stop getting murdered by leopards. That's what I get for bothering the kitty cats. All right. Let's see if I can get out of here and then murder some kitty cats. All right. Yeah. Oh, I do remember my favorite, actually, my favorite really stupid show. Um, I remember watching Peter Pan and Friends, which was quite entertaining, but I don't remember anything about it. Owl House? I've heard of Owl House, so that's true. I forget what it was called, but it was a King Arthur Camelot thing. But they were all football players from modern times, and I guess what happened was something happened to the real King Arthur, and Merlin summoned, and maybe some the other knights of the Round Table, and so Merlin ends up trying to summon a replacement, and he gets like a high school or maybe it's college, but I feel like it was high school. The thing was, I was like 7 at the time, so when you're 7, 16, and 26 might as well be the same age, and they're all grown ups compared to you. Um, but they summoned a football team, and the quarterback's name was Arthur King. So on his jersey or whatever the fuck football players wear, it said King, comma Arthur. And so all I remember is from the first episode and Merlin going, "And you are King Arthur," and it's like, my name's Arthur King. That's all I remember from that stupid cartoon, but I watched it religiously as a kid. I also watched the Conan cartoon, which is funny because my favorite character, as far as I can tell, has never been in any actual Conan property. But I really liked the character, and it was a wizard guy who had 2 wolves. And I remember the wolves were named Misha and Sasha, and I think they were like his siblings, but they were cursed or something. Um, that's He wasn't in a lot of episodes, but I really liked him, and that he was my favorite character. Those are the cartoons I remember watching as a kid, mostly. I also remember watching a sitcom called Welcome Freshman. Speaking of early media that explains much, do tell, do tell. I, I, oh, I also saw the cartoon version of Siegfried and Roy, which I eventually tracked down and got on VHS, and that was amazing. And it is so, it's, the Siegfried and Roy cartoon is hilarious because they were trying to pretend the characters are straight, but they're not, and it's really obvious. And it's a fantasy world thing, so you have Siegfried, who is a stage magician, and you have Roy, who is an actual wizard apprentice, who has a magic book and a cat, and has a white tiger, of course. And there's some girl who's helping them too, but like she barely needs to be there. And neither of them really hit on her that much anyway, like you'd expect. So, and I'm gonna read what you say in a second. I just need to finish my thought first. And what I mostly remember is that there was this constant line from Siegfried because they meet up and Roy's very concerned because magic books, serious plot stuff, and Siegfried just wants to be a stage magician. And he goes, "We just need to find a way to get your cat into my act," and it's just like, oh dear lord. Um, that line gets repeated a lot in the damn cartoon. It's like they knew what they were doing. They had to have, or else someone didn't catch things. Ah, in an obvious lack of parenting skills, you grew up reading tons of Savage sort of Conans, and none of the cartoon versions live up to that. Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, the cartoon versions are very, very scaled down. That's okay, because, it's probably for the best that those things get scaled down sometimes. Thank God, what's with all these fucking leopards? I mean, don't get me wrong, I like cats, but there we go. I get to murder a lot of cats, apparently. I think we're starting to. I might have to go back to town and get more healing potions. Jesus. I thought I'd gotten enough to finish this part of the plot, but maybe not. Okay. Alright, I think we're doing a bit better now, though. Let's see, what mind warping stuff was I exposed to that accidentally fucked me up? I think mostly my thing was, well, I read a few really questionable books I stole from my dad when I was like 12 or 13. So I read like a lot of Sharon Green, who's just awful. Um, I'm sorry, the Maida series is terrible, and it's probably the best thing she's written because I've tried to read other stuff she wrote, and oh my god. Um, I did actually steal a Gore novel at one point, um, from John Norman's Gore series, and that's pretty funny because that was the one book in. What my dad would do is he would buy a bunch of books from like used bookstores and book and collections, and he'd just kind of have a shelf of them that he'd get to eventually. And then he would sell the books back. Now, I am a hoarder who keeps all the books that I read. So what I would end up doing is I'd end up raiding his stash of to be read, stealing the ones that look good, and then he would steal back from me to read it and give it back to me because we had an understanding. Um but I do remember looking through it and finding one of the Gore novels. I forget which one, but it had a female protagonist. I think her name was Elizabeth, so it might have been Slave Girl of Gore. But I could be wrong about that. Have had some interesting French erotica movies. Yeah, I bet. Um, our parents, they don't know what kids get into. You really can't protect kids from this shit. I mean, I found some things in the nightstand while looking curiously around, and I'm sure other people have similar stories. It is what it is. My our parents try really hard, and then we fuck up all their good intentions. At least that's what I did. Hopefully you did too. But I do remember I'd read off the title of the book, and my dad immediately goes, "Put that down." So of course that was the next book I stole from him. And honestly, I don't remember being traumatized by it or anything. I just remember going, a lot of sex scenes here, and being all, "Why is she happy with this?" By the end, it's like, all right, whatever. Because of course, her happy ending was happiness and slavery, and it's just like I don't get it, and I did not get it at that time. I was well. No, I shouldn't say that because the snide comment I was going to make sounds like it would be judgmental towards people who are into the lifestyle, and I do not intend it to be. I understand fully well that people who practice consensual BDSM are not abusing each other, and it's not there's nothing anti-feminist about it or anything like that. It's consensual. These books were just kind of eye rolling though. I thought the Sharon Green books were worse when it came to like uh rape fantasy enslavement shit, to be honest. I used to bring Stephen King to school and the teachers were shocked. I don't think I ever shocked a teacher because mostly I brought Star Trek books to school though, and people weren't too weirded out about that. I kind of gradually meandered into like Anne McCaffrey and things like that by that point, and no one really seemed to blink at it. But I also didn't bring anything gore. Just I only read the one book. It didn't impress me. It didn't offend me really, and it didn't impress me enough to really care. So yeah, I don't want to kill all these cats, game. This is you punishing me for being evil. Is making me kill a bunch of cats. And there I'm dazed again. Fucking hell. These fucking things. Took half a year to read one, but he was your favorite author before you discovered Drist. Fair enough, fair enough. That's understandable. For a long time, my favorite author was Anne McCaffrey, but then I branched out. But she was the first adult science fiction fantasy I read because and I remember because my dad's copy of Damia, the second Rowan book, was on the end table at one point, and I read it, and the quote from Locust magazine on the cover was "Kids, cats, and telepaths." Delightful. Well, I was a kid. I loved cats, and I liked anything with telepathic and psychic stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna read this. So I did, and then and I really liked it. Even though it was the second book in a series, I understood what was going on. I got the first book pretty quickly, and I remember my parents actually bought me the third. And then I've just read a bunch of Anne McCaffrey, and then I'd see that Anne McCaffrey wrote with other novelists, so I'd read the other novelists. And if I recognized someone who'd done a Star Trek book, I might read their stuff too. And then I just gradually branched out. It went to Mercedes Lackey pretty quickly because of the ship who searched, and then like Andre, a bit of spreading out to like some Andre Norton and things like that. Depends. That's when I started stealing from my dad. So I branched out pretty quickly at that point. I was pretty picky about what I'd steal from him, though. Like, I couldn't really say what would make me more inclined to steal one book over another, but there you go. Ah, I didn't actually look up there, did I? I probably should, because I feel like the plot moves on more in that direction. Ah, I killed so many cats. I feel sad. Speaking of, as a Drist fan, never mind. I'm 90% certain I get to fight Drist in one of these modules. I don't remember which one, and I don't remember the context. I'm pretty sure, though, in this version, I get to win and kill him. So, sorry. It's funny, my last. Oh, fuck. Alright, well, I'm gonna die. That's what I get for bad mouthing Grist, huh? Alright, walking in this direction until it wears off. Fortunately, I walk faster than these fuckers, apparently. Abigail Colt. Villain. Monster. Incredible power walker. There we go. Let's kill the Dryad first. Oh, no, maybe not, because the wolf died quickly. Yep, this game knows how to punish me for being evil, though, because it's making me kill a bunch of cats. Don't like that. Don't make me kill cats, game. Why do I feel worse about killing cats than killing people? Because I'm a terrible person. Next question. I'm enjoying reading. I need to get back to reading more Driss books for the blog. I'm actually reading the Cleric Quintet right now, the first book of that for my book review blog, and I'm really enjoying it actually. Though I have to say, Salvatore is. I'm actually more interested than the villain, in the villain, the good guys for that one. Which kind of is like how I find Artemis and Truri more interesting than Drizzt, maybe. It's like when he bothers to engage. And actually, that's not fair. The only villain of Salvatore's that I didn't find interesting was Akar Kessel, and that was like his first book. So I'm not sure that really even counts. Most of the time, I think Salvatore does better with anti-heroes and villains than he does with heroes. At least I find them more interesting. Whereas Drizzt is just a sanctimonious twit. Well, he's not too bad. I just find him a little obnoxious sometimes because he kind of gets away with a whole lot, but he's very teenage basically, so that's probably part of it. Where he is right now, I think the character is actually like 20, but he reads like a teenager, so it's like, teenage stuff. I'll probably like Catterley more now that the curse has been issued, and he's gonna start doing like actual adult things than being a being a mischievous kid in school who basically, Catterley reminds me of Zach Morris at the beginning of the Claire Chronicles. That's who I was thinking of. Zach Morris is the main character of Saved by the Bell, a sitcom that was very popular when I was a kid. I have no idea if anyone younger than me will get that reference, but there you go. That's who Catterley reminds me of. He reminds me of Zach Morris right now, and like, Zach's funny, but it's like, let's get to the point where he starts to act like an adult, okay? I get to kill a whole lot of wildlife. Well, at least hopefully I'm pissing off the fairy. Jesus. Okay. Well, I can still rest out here, so. Oh, it does go around. Well, never mind then. Didn't need to go up here yet. Enemies nearby. Oh, there's one. Oh, I get to kill a deer now. Venison. Yummy. Another deer. Hello. I think I'm getting to that point of fighterdom where I don't suck, even though I'm the player and I'm not very good at what I do. Really, there shouldn't be more enemies nearby. Come on, let me rest. Or you can just wait very slowly. Hmm. God, now I want to find out. I want to find out about the stupid King Arthur football team one. It was like something like King Arthur and Friends or something. I don't know. The premise of them being football heroes was not very obvious from from the title, as I recall. But it was really funny. Oh fuck. Well, I'm gonna die. Hey, how about you walk a little closer to try to bitch slap me so that I can actually get in there and bitch slap you? That would be wonderful. Oh, hey. Hi. Fuck you, nymph. You really like the Alabaster Staff novel? I don't think I've read that one. Maybe because it was the first Forgotten Realms novel that you read that didn't take place in Northern Faerun. That's fair, that's fair. It does seem like that's a very common setting. I haven't actually read too many Forgotten Realms novels besides the obvious. So I've read a lot of Salvatore, and I read the Avatar quintet, I guess you could say. The first three books were dreadful. It's like you read Shadowdale, and you're like, oh, this is why Salvatore became so popular. He can actually tell a coherent story. But I have to say, and I've said this before, The Crucible, The Trial of Cyric the Mad, is possibly the best Forgotten Realms book I've ever read. Like, I would go so far as to say it's a genuinely good, like, genuinely really compelling fantasy novel without the Forgotten Realms trappings. It's I read that and was like, whoa, this is actually amazing. Like, it's this fascinating discourse essentially on what it means to be a deity in the Forgotten Realms versus a human, and it's just amazing. The fourth book wasn't too bad. The one The first three were really frustrating and awful. Oh, it's Crucible, The Trial of Cyric the Mad. So the Avatar trilogy is the original set of stories, and it's like the canon story for the time of troubles, when the gods all got demoted and turned mortal and so on. And the characters are a mercenary fighter named Kalimvor, a female wizard named Midnight, a thief named Cyric, and a priest whose name I can't fucking remember. Some of those names might be familiar to you if you've read or played a lot in the Forgotten Realms setting. Um, those were the characters. Cyric, yes, and Kellamvor probably too, and Midnight would if you knew her by her other name. So basically, it's generally a quest novel, but it's told in a really frustrating way. And part of the problem, Cyric is the main problem, because Cyric is Cyric. You know who Cyric is. And this is Cyric as a mortal, but he didn't change that much. And the problem is, you'd have these characters, and Cyric would do something, and they'd be fucking stupid about it. The character who was the most compelling was Kalimvor. Kalimvor was actually really well done. Um, I will say that even in the crappy series, is that he was really well done. The one thing that was a little annoying is they randomly made him very sexist at the start of the story, just like I don't work with women and so on, which doesn't make sense in the Forgotten Realms because there isn't really built-in sexism in the Forgotten Realms anyway. He was basically just there so Midnight could kick his ass, and he could be like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Fine, whatever." I really hate that kind of tacked on sexism, racism thing because they usually do it to the most interesting character because it's not meant to be a character trait throughout the whole story. It's meant to be just there to get things started. So they have to have a really involved personality beyond that. But beyond that, the whole thing with Kellamvor that made him interesting was that he was in a family that was descended from some hero or other or lord. Ah, fair enough. The Danish translations might not carry it. So, but his ancestor was kind of an asshole and had been cursed that he could only do good deeds or he would turn into I think it was a panther or leopard or something like that, some sort of cat thing, and murder a whole bunch of people. So it was a geas on the family. Um, that was like, you have to do this. But over the generations, it got fucked up and it got twisted. So Kellamvor was basically under a curse that said that he could not do anything altruistic for somebody else without getting some kind of payment for it, or he would turn into a werepanther or I guess he was a werepanther. He turned into a panther and start killing people. Maybe not a panther. I forget. It was a cat. I'm pretty sure it was a cat. Maybe I'm not. Hold on. Fuck. Where's Google? The Lion's Bane curse. That's what it was. And what did he fucking turn into? Come on, fucking Wikipedia. Just tell me what he turned the fuck into. I know the story. I'm telling the story. Just tell me what he fucking turned into. Oh, damn. I forgot that part. Okay, anyway. Damn, his dad beat a lot of women. Oh, Panther. Okay, there we go. Panthers show up a lot in Forgotten Realms. Um, I was right. It was a panther. Anyway, so that meant that the guy, even though he wanted to be a good guy and was a good guy, um, Wikipedia describes him as having the heart of a noble paladin. The fact of the matter is, he literally cannot do a good deed without some sort of payment, or else he would turn into a werepanther. Or, and murder people. So he's like, I don't want to murder people, so I'm going to ask. The thing is, he was always, and there I go, I'm dead, but that's because I'm distracted. He was always really transparent about it. and it was endearing, endearingly transparent about it. So it'd be like a kid would fall into the river, and he'd be like, and they'll be like, rescue, rescue my kid, and he'd be like, give me a gold piece. They'd be like, what? Just give me a gold piece, and then they give him a gold piece, and he'd go rescue the kid. Anyway, I don't remember why he didn't tell the group this, and it's probably idiocy, let's be honest, but he wouldn't tell the group about it. But it was really, really transparent. But the main female character, who's probably the most normal and I guess theoretically likable of them, and she mostly was, except she was an idiot sometimes. Oh fuck, did my phone just die? My phone just died, so I can't see the chat at the moment. 1 second, I need to plug it in. And I left my fucking thing upstairs. Ah! Alright, 1 second. I'm going to stay paused while I get my charger and charge my damn phone. Actually, don't I have my backup charger in here? I think I have my backup charger in here. 1 second. Wait, no. You did, Reshke. Sorry, right now, right. Okay, that's bizarre. My phone turned off for no reason because I've got 35% power here. And apparently I got a call. From whom? I don't know. Okay. Whatever. I'm confused. Well, it doesn't need to be charged, so I'm fine. I'm just annoyed at the world. All right. But yes, you did mention that, Reshke. All right, there I am. Okay. All right, I think I'm back to where I should be. Sorry about that. I got confused. So while I wait for Reshke to say your next thought, I will continue. Um, so you have Midnight, and she'd be somewhat justifiably like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Initially, when he'd ask for payment or something like that, but it quickly became obvious that there was something wrong. And I think she even gets to see the panther thing for a while, but she's still like, "Oh God, you're the worst," and eventually gets frustrating. It would probably have been okay if Cyric weren't right there, because Cyric is busy outright murdering people, kicking puppies, being Cyric, right? So she'd be like, God, Kellenvor's the worst. And Cyric would be able to go there going, yeah, isn't he? He's just so awful. While literally kicking a puppy. Oh, okay. Awesome. No, thank you for letting me reminding me, because I feel like I do remember you saying that, but then I kind of forgot that you said it, so. All right. Let's kill the boar, and let's figure out how to deal with this lady before she murders me. I mean, it's not really murder. It's really basically self-defense. Let's be honest here. When Abigail Colt's involved, it's self-defense. Um, okay, anyway, so that was really frustrating. And because Cyric was Cyric and really fucking obvious about everything. There we go. Um, and eventually things go on, and I I do feel like eventually Cyric actually does succeed in murdering Kellenborg. And the end of the trilogy initially ends. I am always happy to add things for people to add things to my to read list. No question about that. You want my bizarre thoughts about it. I know it's all right. My insights are amazing, and you should appreciate them. That's why I have a book review blog. Oh yeah, this was my problem. Okay, yeah, let's not do that. Anyway, the third book basically ends with, I think, Midnight becoming the new Mistra. Sorry for the spoilers. This is a very old series, and you probably knew this stuff already, most of it. Cyric becoming the gods of murder, thievery, and I think death at that point in time. And and the poor priest never actually gets to be divine, and I always thought that was a little unfair. But anyway, the fourth book kind of followed up on that and led to things becoming the way they are with Kalimvor as the god of death because he gets saved, etc., and so on. The, but the series basically at the end of those four novels, you have Kalimvor as god of death, you have Midnight slash Mistra as goddess of magic, you have Cyric as god of murder, and the other gods are back in place and so on. Um, Crucible, the Trial of Cyric the Mad, is after that, and basically what ends up happening is it's everyone trying to learn how to be gods, and I forget what Cyric fucking does. He does something or other, and they decide to put him on trial, and he actually ends up being acquitted because he's acting according to what his portfolio. He all of his chaotic, evil, idiot bullshit is entirely appropriate for a god of murder. What ends up happening, though, is that the things that Mistra and Kalimvor were doing were not, because they were really trying to be good people in their job. And the issue that you have then is so Mistra would end up only giving magic to good people rather than horrible people, understandably. And Kalimvor was trying to make was basically judging the the souls that came before him and doing nice things for the good people and so on and punishing the bad people. And the problem that they were having is that well, the gods themselves were being really pissed off that magic was being denied to a good portion of the population when that's not the rule. And you had things where good people who were morally good were martyring themselves because they knew that they would have a good afterlife in Kalimvor's care, and they were kind of ditching their own um their own gods so that they would because uh because they could just count on being treated very well by Kalimvor. And that was a problem because the Forgotten Realms deityship relies on worship and so on. And it just kind of it was making a mess of things. I'm not explaining it very well. I'm not a professional writer. But basically because they're essentially the basic issue is because both of those characters were made to be the deity of a force that is supposed to be so universal and thus neutral, and they were trying to use their mortal morality on it, that became a really big problem. And Kalimvor really takes it to heart and basically just kind of revises himself to be an ultra like almost faceless, expressionless. He doesn't mistreat the dead, but it becomes a very empty sort of limbo-y place. One thing that's funny versus Mask of the Betrayer, Mask of the Betrayer is all about the Wall of the Faithless that had been created by Merkel. Actually, in these stories, the Wall of the Faithless was already gone. Um, he actually did get rid of it in the books, but they kind of undid that for Mask of the Betrayer, and I think that's a. I mean, Mask of the Betrayer had an amazing plot, so it's fair game to undo that. And I thought they portrayed Kalimvor really well in Mask of the Betrayer. So even though they did take away one of the good things he did manage to succeed in doing. What made it so poignant, though, is the full circle aspect of the character because he starts off as a person who intended to be who had the heart of a paladin, to misquote the Wikipedia entry, and who truly, truly wanted to be a good person, but he couldn't because of that curse. And he ends the series as a god who cannot be a good person the way he always wanted to because he is the god of death. And the natural way that divinity and such works in the realms, he cannot do that. And I thought that was such a great tragedy, pulling full circle. And it's just really well done, and it's such a really great examination of God. And don't get me wrong. See, I'm one of those characters. I'm not really big on villain apologists or anything like that. You really have to sell me on the idea that it's better to be neutral than good, and it's better to be evil than, or that we need evil in the world. You really have to sell me on that. And there are certain universes where I think it is true, but you got to work hard to sell me on that being an outcome, and the characters choosing it. This did, and it's really really good. And I'm completely incoherent talking about it, and I feel bad about it. I should, what I need to do is I need to write a recommendation for it, because I am much more coherent and eloquent and so on when I'm in writing versus when I'm talking. I don't know why I have a stream rather than a blog. I should just blog more opinion pieces. I would sell you on it better. But anyway, it's really really good, and I would highly recommend it, even though I kind of spoiled most of the plot points. So there's that. It is true that I spoiled most of the plot points, but I think it's good enough that me spoiling the plot points shouldn't ruin it for you. That's how good I think it is. I'm also quite fond of the Warhammer series, Warhammer 40K book series too. They're kind of like the whole universe is just hilariously, idiotically grimdark, but to a cartoonish level. But it's interesting to see how the really good book writers deal with that and still make a compelling story. I definitely would recommend the Caiaphas Kane novels. I'm also fond of Gaunt's Ghosts. They're pretty good too. Now I'm gonna have to put a warning in my thing that I've spoiled the end of the Avatar series. Shit, I'm always spoiling shit. It's awful. No one should ever listen to my thoughts on anything because I will spoil it. There are plot points I didn't mention though, so there are things I didn't spoil about the book that I love. I truly didn't. There's some good events that you would enjoy. Oh, for fuck's sake! Hit the fucking little Grig. Thank you. Okay, it is actually pretty impressive that I can stab a fairy, but there you go. I like to think I'm whacking her out of the sky with the great sword like it's a baseball bat. That's my goal. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm guessing this is where I go next. Deeper into the high forest. Let's rest. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. It's really more the character arcs that I feel guilty about spoiling. I mean, anyone who knows the deities as of third edition knows who these characters are. Well, maybe not Midnight. Um, but the how is really good. It really is. And like I said, the comparative elements of divine morality versus mortal morality, I think is actually excellent. I think it's Troy Denning who wrote it. I could be wrong about that, but he did a good job. Fucking pixies. There we go. Gotta stop swearing about the fairies, though, or someone's gonna think I'm being homophobic and using really old derogatory slang. All right, here we go. All right. Are there more people I can murder here? It's not as fun being a murder hobo in a forest as it is in a town, though. I need to murder more people. And there's a bear. Well, let's piss off the pixies and kill more living things. There we go. There we are. Hi. Oh shit, more bears. Fuck. That's not good. Bears are hard. So what else was I doing that I can talk about? More listening to episodes of the Mage podcast, which is pretty good. They're old episodes though, so I can't even argue with them. Well, I can. It's just not worth it. I still maintain, though, that the entropy sphere in Mage makes perfect sense, and people just get weird about it. It's like, it doesn't make sense to link fate and death. It's like, why? What's the ultimate fate of any living thing? Death, unless you're immortal. Okay, but that's kind of its own thing, and not ideal anyway. So yeah, it makes sense that fate and death are connected. I maintain that. It's kind of a nihilistic, depressing point of view, but it's a valid one. All right, let's get over here and try not to die. More killing cats. I feel bad about killing cats. The druids, on the other hand, they're just annoying. All right, I have dryads. Oh, I'll get to kill some druids. Okay, I find Forgotten Realms druids really aggravating most of the time, so this is gonna be fun. Hmm. I'm told that the playable module for the Avatar series is really bad though. I guess I guess because you don't get to play the characters who become gods, which just kind of seems like a missed opportunity there. The player characters should be the ones becoming gods. It's like just because the canon version is Surik and Kalambor, your character should become gods if you are playing it. I maintain that. Hi, Dryads. Seriously, really? Alright, fine. We'll go in this direction till it wears the fuck off. Dryads. Dryads are so... Oh shit, now I'm confused. Oh, well, yeah, fuck it. Let's just do this. I can kill things with the Dryad. Especially since I can't really move in the correct direction right now. Okay. Can we wear it off, please? Thank you. I'm sure there are people who've never seen the ending to Titanic, though, to be fair. Because you can say that the ship's gonna sink, but you don't know who's gonna make it to the lifeboat or who's not. Hello, nymph. Oh, more nymph. A dryad. There we go. Oh, look at all these dryads I'm getting to murder. It's quite fun. Oh my god, there's a lot of these fuckers. How dare you inhabit your own forest, lady? You freed me with dispel magic. I don't think that's what you meant to do. Hi. I. Oops. Stunned again. Alright, will she kill me before I can kill her? Let's find out. I'm gonna go with no. No, she can't. Murdering through a forest, through a forest, through a forest. I'm murdering through a forest. Cha la 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 la. Murder, 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 forest, 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 murder, 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 forest, forest, forest. Alright, so. Okay, I kind of ran out of things to talk about, unfortunately. Oh, speaking of. Oh, no, I can't talk about that. That's kind of politics. Celine Dion apparently was quite offended that someone used "My Heart Will Go On" for a Trump rally, and her official Twitter says something like that she does not endorse it, etc., 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 and then says, "Really, that song?" Which I think is hilarious. I wonder if she finds it as aggravating as those of us who grew up in the '90s and heard it everywhere does. It's a pretty song, but it's much prettier if you haven't heard it in 20 years versus if you heard it every 15 minutes on the radio. So that was pretty funny. Sorry, no more politics from me. I don't think my politics are hard to guess, though. So, if you're really all that shocked at my left liberal leanings, then sorry. Oh, there we go again. Oh shit. Shit. Oh no, I might die here. Because these are fucking bears and they hit hard. And they're gonna hit hard before this shit wears off. Fuck, 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 fuck. Oh, that dryad laid a good trap for me. Alright. I have a kitten on my lap. She crawled in. She's so cute. I like when the kitty comes and sits with me. My kitten. So kitten. So kitten. Oh, it's you. Oh shit, grizzly bears are hard. And another bear just to make it worse? That's mean. That's a mean thing to do, game. I know I'm evil, but this is just mean. Shit. Well, that's good. Critical hits are always nice. Alright. Damn, I really should have bought more healing potion. Oh well. At least I can rest out here versus inside. There we go. Alright, let's try to find a nook to rest in towards the entrance. Kitty, 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 kitty. Where's my kitty, kitty? Kitten. Kitten. Such a good little kitty you are. Such a good little kitty you are. She's looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you talking to me? I am being comfortable here. Your leg just happens to be the spot where I'm comfortable. I don't think that gives you the right to have errors, though. She's such a good girl. She's a good girl. She's killed rats for me. Well, mice. She killed mice for me. I did not react well because I'm afraid of mice, both dead and alive. But still, she caught them. She murdered them. She started eating them. It was really gross. All right, all right. Oh shoot, I'm late on my book review blog again. Fuck. I guess I can do it tonight. Hit the bear with the stick. Hit the bear with the stick. Ooh. Oh, yep. No spoilers. Sorry, Sparkly Wildflower. Um. Anyway. Anyway. Oh, I guess the new season of Umbrella Academy came out, and from certain responses, I take it the ending was not ideal for a lot of people, but maybe people who watched it liked it. I quit at the end of season 2. Uh oh, I want to read this. Okay, so you remember when yours caught her first mouse? You were sleeping on the easy chair in the pitch dark, so you couldn't see anything, but you heard her running a victory lap, mouse squeaking in her mouth, body never found. Oh, that's funny. In my case, the first one I found, there were four, or which is pretty good because I've had her for a year and a half. The first one, I didn't know what she was doing. I came from home from work and I saw her at the edge of my treadmill because I had my treadmill in the middle of the room. It is now buried under the bed because I stopped using it at that point. And she was batting at something under the treadmill. And I look under there and I see something fuzzy. Now she's got this toy mouse that's not really very mouse like. It's just like this brown furred thing. And I figure it's that. So I reach in there and I pull it out. And I realize after a moment that This toy is more detailed than it usually is. And there are paws and so on. And I just shriek. So that was my first encounter with mouse. The second, okay, maybe there's only been three. I thought there was four. No, there was one. There was another not too long after that where there was a mouse in the laundry room, and I saw her batting it about and so on, and I called my dad, and he took it from her. Um, the third time she'd already caught it, and those two were last year. The other two were this year. All I know is she was chewing something. She was eating something, and it looked like she was eating like a treat, but it was taking her a long time. And when I was feeding her and such, she like ignored that just to chew on what she was chewing on. And I finally got close enough and realized that, oh God, it's that. So again, shriek. And the last one was, I came down from watching Svengoolie, it was like some weeks ago, and she wakes up at the top of the stairs for me. This time she wasn't. She was actually near my bed and kind of peering back there. And when she came out, she had a mouse dangling from her mouth. So it's like I go to get help because I don't want to touch it. And when I come back down, she doesn't have it anymore. So we're like looking around frantically for a mouse carcass. Don't find it for like an hour. Then eventually, my mom finds in the corner of the room the mouse, and it's still alive, and it runs off. So this was like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, oh fuck. So I'm sitting in the easy chair. I'm hoping the cat finds the mouse at some point. At around midnight, she ends up finding the mouse, and it's in the pantry, which is my basement is divided in half. There's the finished part, which is my bedroom. There's the there's the unfinished part, which is the laundry room and the pantry. So she finds it there. I go up to get my mother to help, and we come back down. It's gone again. But she's hovering around the door of the laundry room, which is open but kind of blocked off. And we're thinking she's got it trapped in there. Because she's mewing at it and growling at it like her favorite prey is in there. We finally get it open. It's a hair tie. She'd apparently abandoned the mouse for the hair tie. And then about 3 in the morning, she comes out with the mouse now very clearly dead, and it starts eating it like she did that other day. And then we get it back from her at that point in time. My poor dad helped me with that one. So those were the mouse adventures that we had so far. There will likely be more. She's very cute. Oh, actually, I hold her treat. We have traps set up and so on, so we're hoping it doesn't become a thing again. At some point, I am afraid that I'm gonna end up with one in my bed because I'm hoping that never happens though, because I will freak out and it will be awful. Oh fuck, I'm confused and there are a lot of things to kill. Fantastic. Oh, druids, nice. I get to kill druids. Did I save recently though? Because I can't do much of anything right now. Oh, for fuck's sake, this is really annoying. Can I please get the confusion done at least? Because that's really, really annoying. Because sometimes you can hit things with confusion. There we go. This is better. Let's kill the druid. I know I'm confused, but that's a Ponzi bastard with a staff. I should be able to hit him. Thank you. Okay. Spoiling the Odyssey early, Ed. That's true, that's true. So I was thinking of something else before I got on the mouse tangent. Now I can't remember what I was saying. So it can't have been that important, but it's also a little annoying. I forgot what I was talking about though. I could watch the VOD, but I'm not gonna. Alright. Oh fuck. More druids. Alright, let's go this way. Let's throw the little bastards out. Did you... Oh, that was a potion. Okay, that's fair. I thought he drank a healing potion for a second. I was like, what, really? There we go. There we go. Ah, that's nice. Look at all these things I can loot. Most of it's fairy dust. I'd like to think I just stepped on the fairy and ground her into dust. Quarterstaff, how lovely. Alright, yes, I forgot though. Crap! I hate when I lose my conversation topics. It's so hard to think of them. I thought I had one that was good and then it disappeared on me. Oh well. My kitten is adorable. She also likes to kill mice. That is the takeaway. And she's like, you don't appreciate me. Poor baby. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you and your bears. Come on. Let's great cleave this shit. Oh, God. I have used so much healing potions. I really wish I could teleport. Hey. There we go. There we go. That was nice. Look at that. That was kind of beautiful. Hit one and then swing around and hit the other. Ah, that was nice. I appreciate that. Alright, I'm gonna be walking slow soon. Because I'm not leaving this shit out for nature. Fuck nature. Evil Abigail. Mm. Oh, look, more druids. Honestly, the bears are harder to kill. Well, maybe not. That one wasn't hard to kill, was he? I feel like this part was built in here just for people who got sick of the druid plot in the original campaign. Like, fuck the druids. Preachy bastards. I like your staff. Can I have it? I should probably find my other set of, my other pile of healing potions. They're there. Probably should have bought more. Oh well. Live and learn. I'm trying to hit you fuckers. I don't need constructive criticism from a bunch of fucking druids. Just hit him, please. Abigail, why are you not being able to hit anything? It's really annoying. Thank you. I hit hard enough that when I hit, it's pretty good. It's just, apparently I can't fucking hit anything. Alright, let's hit that one first. Not. Oh no, I'm entangled. I can't really hit him from here. There we go. Alright, let's get this fucker now. Hi. Oh, you're Travio. I think you're the one I'm trying to kill, or maybe you're the brother. Hi. Hi. Come on. Come on. Come on. You know, if you just hid instead of hitting me with arrows, I wouldn't be trying to kill you right now. Look, you're near death even. There we go. Bye-bye. You're the one I was trying to kill, yeah? Maybe. Is that your brother? Sorry. You know, guys, if you just stopped trying to kill me, I'd probably let you live. I'm pretty sure I killed the person I was supposed to kill. Oh, hello. Heavy armor. I'm gonna like that. I'll keep the bow too. Some rings that are probably gonna be useful. Some arrows. Okay. Well, that's nice. That's nice. Oh, I still have to find that fucking Phoenix shit too. Well, you're gonna have to deal with that because I've still got to find that fucking plant shit, don't I? Fuck. Agate plants. I gotta find a taggart plant. Great. Fuck it, plants. Do you have taggart plants, friends? Probably not, but you do have shit I can loot. Don't spoil the Iliad for me. I haven't read it. Just kidding. All right. I don't tend to mind spoilers. I think if something's really good, then. Oh, the Umbrella Academy. That's what I was thinking of. Apparently that came out. I stopped watching at the end of the second season, though, because I kind of realized. I thought the second season was an improvement on the first, because the first I thought was just. They didn't feel like siblings to me. It's like the family dynamic didn't really hit right. Um, like it wasn't I wasn't feeling it. Second season I did, which is weird because they weren't in the same place, but I felt it more in the second season. But at the end of the second season, like okay, well they're getting their second chance now to fix things, etc. It's it'll work out. And then it just goes into another new situation that they caused with their actions and I'm like, "Oh, so this series is never going to let you win." It just seemed kind of weirdly bleak to me, so I stopped watching at that point. Though I will say Tom Hopper is hot. And I think it's hilarious that I know he's supposed to have the ape body, right? Yeah, well, I gotta keep the shit. Anyways, so it's like he's supposed to have the ape body, but for a long time, it's like they were kind of inconsistent about how they portrayed it. So it's like sometimes it just looked like so his power is just being really big and hot, right? Okay. Even shirtless, you couldn't always tell that he supposedly like had the ape body. It was just like, oh, he's big, shirtless, and hairy. Okay. I mean, he's a little lean to be and he doesn't have a beard, so he's clearly not meant to be a full bear archetype, but like a very tall otter, maybe. Okay. And then it was like, oh, he's got an ape body. Okay, fine, fine. All right, I'm still looking for that fucking plant. On the plus side, I found the guy, so I can get back now. Severely overloaded, so it's gonna take forever. But I think there's still some plants I'm supposed to fucking find. I'm hoping it's gonna be up here, because if it's not, I don't know where the fuck it'll be. But the armor looks good. The armor's I can't identify, so I'm thinking it might actually have some good shit in it. Alright. Now to walk very slowly through the forest I massacred my way through. Because that's what one does when you are an asshole. An abaco cult is an asshole. Oh my! That's a lot of good stuff. Braces of Dexterity 2? Oh, that's gonna be nice. And Boots of Hardiness 1? Oh goodness, and Unidentified Armor? Okay, well these are gonna be both profitable and useful for me. I'm quite happy. And the Club Plus one ought to sell for a decent amount. I might have to readjust my inventory though, because it's not the most efficient. And I don't really have any bags, alas. I could always magically conjure a bag of holding, but that's kind of cheating. I may do it though. We'll see. Other people I know really like the Umbrella Academy though, they seemed to dislike the finale, but I don't know how bad it is. Yes, loot, wonderful loot. Sometimes people just complain about the weirdest shit, and you're like, so is it bad or is it just that a woman is talking? It's hard to say. Of course, I mean, I got that there was a bit of that with The Mandalorian. I get that some people didn't like Mandalorian season 3 because they're not really into the whole Mandalore politics thing. Okay, fine. That's fair. And some folks didn't like it because they didn't really like the way the New Republic was portrayed. Okay, fine. I disagree, but that's a blog post to get into. I'm not going to tell someone they're wrong for feeling the way they do. That's okay. But some of them, it's just like, I don't like it because Bo Katan became the main character. It's like, she did not become the main character. Yes, she was a central part of the plot because it was her plot first. It's like the whole dark saber thing started with her long before the Mandalorian. It was gonna stay with her as a story. It's like, you just got to deal with that, friend. Oh shit. Okay, leveled up. Okay, so this is going to be, I think, the moment of truth because if I can get the second level of hide out, or the last level of hide, I'm good. If I can't, okay, there we go. All right. So I don't need the So, and by the end of the module, I just need to have that one last. No. Okay. Oh, okay. Fair enough. All right. So I just need one more level by the end of the module, and I'll have my black guard. Nice. So now that I have this, can I actually identify something? So that'd be good if I could. I love the zappy things, but to be honest with you, it's not all that useful. I'll put it on sometimes for usefulness, though. I'll sell that. That'll be good to sell. Uh, Mando 3? Oh, you should watch Mando 3. I liked it. I really did. I hope nothing I said was really a spoiler. Bo Katan has a major role, and some folks are like, she became the main character instead of him, and she did not. He still has far more screen time than she does. It's just that she's very central to the storyline. There we go. Hopefully that is not too much of a spoiler. I really liked it. So there you go, for what it's worth. My taste is sometimes questionable. I acknowledge that, but I liked it. Too many things I can't fucking figure out, huh? I don't think I have anything that gives me identify right now. Oh well. I'll carry it back to sell it then. Yep. Now I haven't watched a lot of the other ones though. I actually haven't watched Andor yet, and I don't intend to for a while until un, until the folks who really love it have started hating it. That's when I'm gonna watch it. And I realize that probably sounds ridiculous, but it's like those people get really obnoxious. And I look forward to any time that. Actually, though, a lot of my friends really like it, so I trust their judgment. I know I'll like Andor. The thing is, though, I am waiting for the point in time where it reminds people that this is a franchise where the smartest person in the galaxy is a Muppet. And that no matter what, this is the universe of Jar Jar Binks. So yeah, there's going to be some intelligent, really good stuff, but there's also going to be some really crap stuff, and you just got to deal with it. It's a kids franchise that sometimes gets more complicated or more complex than than you think is standard for a kids franchise, and that's fine. But in the end, there's going to be a fucking Muppet. So just deal with that. This is how Star Wars is supposed to be. No, Star Wars is supposed to have the fucking Muppet. That's what Star Wars is. It's the fucking Muppet. George Lucas made these movies for a whole lot of reasons, or the original movies anyway, and much of which had to do with marketing and so on. So yeah, it's gonna occasionally get a little ridiculous. And honestly, It's not Star Wars if it's not a little ridiculous eventually, and people will figure that out, and then they'll tantrum about it because they'll be like, "This is not what I signed on for," and it's like, "Yes, it is. You signed on for it the moment you decided to watch something called Star Wars. Deal with it." So that's my rant about Star Wars today. Well, there's the tag plant I wanted. Yay! That means I've accomplished both goals today. I have murdered my way through some druids, some dryads, and pixies. I have murdered my way through an entire forest. This forest is like completely without life forms now because of me. Isn't that lovely? Okay. Alright. So now it's time to very slowly walk back because I am incredibly overloaded. I'm just happy though I didn't have to buy a rogue level. I would have if I had to, but I don't want to. Alright. Now we just have to hope that I can get that last 7,000 XP before the end of the module so that I can get the Blackguard level I need. It is an interesting requirement, though, story-wise. You need to buy a level of Blackguard before the end of the module. And you need to buy 5 levels of Blackguard before the end of, I think, the second module. I don't know if there's any requirement for the third. I'm guessing so. Look at me, I'm all chaotic evil. That is such a great portrait. I like this portrait. Alright. I am slowly meandering my way through. Okay. Rings of Power was pretty good. I actually haven't finished the first season yet. I kind of got distracted, but I thought it was good what I watched of it. It's not it's not the Silmarillion, so I get why lore purists don't like it, but I think it's decent. I think a lot of the folks who bitch about it though are just mad because Galadriel is a woman who has a sword and does not kowtow to men. I don't think that's the only reason people dislike it. Don't get me wrong. I think there are people who dislike it for other reasons, but I think the loudest people are just mad that a woman is a fighter, and it's like, whatever, guys. It's hard though, because whenever something new comes out, you gotta figure out how much of the whining is like how much of the critique is genuine, and there is good genuine critique, and how much are just whiners who expected something different than what they got. And of those whiners, how much of them are whining because there's a woman or a person of color? Elves can't be black. Why the fuck not? It's a fictional race, guys. And anytime folks are like, they're mermaids under the sea, so they shouldn't have melanin. It's like, well, why the hell are dark elves black then? If you're not going to complain about the one, you can't complain about the other. Just Duorden should have the complexion of a fucking jellyfish, and he does not. SnarfQuest was Lucas's influence for Jar Jar? Possibly, possibly. I'm not going to try to decide what the hell happened with Jar Jar. I will say I agree with the folks who think Jar Jar is incredibly annoying. I will say there are points where Jar Jar is used in a very interesting way, but I wish that they'd managed to do it without the behaviors that I don't think is intentional on Lucas's part. But I do think the critics of Jar Jar who point out that a lot of his behavior is kind of borderline minstrel showy are correct about that. There's a lot of uncomfortable things about Jar Jar Binks. Look up Snarf. I believe you. I believe you. And I also think the poor actor did not deserve to be treated by the fandom the way it was though. Like the kid. It's like, yeah, child Anakin was annoying, but that is not the child's fault. Leave children alone, damn it. And I would say even Hayden Christensen got a lot of shit for how he played Anakin, but it's like a lot of that was the director. If you see him, I'm sorry, it was George Lucas, because if you see Hayden Christensen in other things, he he's a good actor. It's in. I remember reading somewhere someone was talking about the prequels, and pointing out that the actors who did the best versus the actors who tended to be less effective, there was a difference in terms of like whether they had a lot of stage experience and whether or not they had a lot of experience like adjusting their lines. Because a lot of what made the original trilogy so not quite as awkward in their speeches because the actors outright admit they rewrote a lot of their lines. I mean, hell, Carrie Fisher ended up being a script doctor. Like that's her major career. Oh, so you missed Serenity opening night? Ah, I can see that. I thought Serenity was kind of overrated, and I say that as someone who really liked Firefly. I don't think it was bad, but I found it a little disappointing for what it's worth. Firefly, I like a lot more in theory. I mean, I really enjoyed watching the episodes of Firefly that existed, but there's a lot uncomfortable about it too. It's like, how can you have a show that so heavily uses Chinese language, to the point where everyone's cursing and that everyone's using it casually, and not have a single fucking Chinese actor in your main cast? Still better than Star Wars? Mm, depends on the movie for me. It depends on the movie. But I mean, it's fair to be disappointed about that part, Rashke. I'll sympathize with that. That is the thing that bothers me now about Firefly is that for all the things that I think it did good, and I think it did do some really good stuff, I can't get over that they use so much Asian trappings, Asian aesthetic, and Asian language, and they don't have a single fucking Asian main character. That's unforgivable. That's just not. It's just lazy and crap, and just not forgivable. You got to know better than that. Kind of like in my review of Crystal Shard when I pointed out that the only female character that had lines was Canterbury, and she was like she had 3 lines in the entire thing, and the only other women mentioned were Akar Kessel's sex slaves, who presumably died when the Shard Tower fell. And it's like there weren't even like random background women. And it's like in yeah, the book came out in like 88, but that's unforgivable in 1988. You can make somewhere there should be a woman. You need more than one female character, and she should appear in more than like the last quarter of the book. But he does improve. I'll give him that. Salvatore does improve. But yeah, that's my issue with Firefly though, is the lack of Asian people. I've not watched Dollhouse. I just couldn't get past the premise, and I'm not a big fan of what's her name as an actress, so I never really watched Dollhouse. I've heard good things though. She seems like a very nice person, and I feel bad for her that she ended up like getting booted off that other show, and CBS. Well, I'm glad CBS had to pay her like a couple $1 million to make up for that. Come here, because that was bullshit. But as an actress, I've never really liked that actress's work. So there you go. It's kind of like one of those things that always annoys me when people act like someone who is incredibly talented must be a good person, and or they act like as soon as someone's been revealed to be a terrible person, they're like, oh well, they sucked anyway. And it's like, no, they didn't suck. If they sucked anyway, they wouldn't have been in a position to abuse people or things like that. It's like sometimes you can look at someone, especially if it's an author or a like a writer or an author, you can look at someone's work afterwards and go, okay, yeah, I can see these things that I never noticed before. I can see how it kind of hints towards the author being a terrible person. But generally, you don't. And some folks might have caught that early, to be fair. But folks act like only good people are talented and only bad people are untalented, and that's not the way it works. There are a lot of good people who do good work and too, but there are bad people who do good work. The uh the current things about a certain comic creator, book writer, etc., where it's kind of heart-wrenching. It's like very, very disappointing to hear. And apparently there's been accusations that have gone on for a long time and people were just ignoring them. Not I don't think casual fans were ignoring them. I think most casual fans had never heard about them, like me. I hadn't. But apparently there's been stories about like women who've tried to come forward and like publications and such, they weren't having it. And then when they did start to come forward, it'd be like, oh well, that's like a conservative podcast and stuff, so it might just be a hit piece. And it's like, yeah, or maybe they're the only ones who'd actually air it, and that's what it sounds like, and that's awful. Don't get me wrong, you're never going to see me sympathize with the conservatives, but sometimes people who are liberals still do bad things. And sometimes they like to try to cover things up, and it's awful. So, yeah, that's my thought on some current events. Sorry. That's depressing. Now I've depressed myself. Oh well. I'm going to go in and turn in my quest stuff. I'm going to see what the new quest is, and I'm probably going to be calling it a night relatively soon. Let's see. So it'll be 10 minutes for 2 hours. I do like to try to get a 2 hour stream. So we'll see. We'll see what else I can do. Oh, out of the loop. Catch me on Discord and I'll fill you in. Oh well, I mean, I can say it here, I guess. The writer Neil Gaiman has. There've been a lot of women who've come forward, and he's been very predatory and has apparently sexually assaulted quite a few women. It's awful, and it's particularly bad because he's. I mean, it'd be bad anyway. Don't get me wrong, but he's always been really, really outspoken in pro-feminist circles and things like that, which basically just means he'd have more access to vulnerable women and more people covering up for him. Yeah, yeah, that was my thought too. I was really, really upset and disappointed, and I mean, obviously not as upset as his victims, I'm sure were. But that's yeah, yeah, that was not a good thing to hear. But it is what it is. Sometimes people who are talented do horrible things, and sometimes and can't always tell. All right, what can I do for you? I killed Travio. Here's the ring. Thank you for taking care of all these clients for us. You did a great job. Here's the reward for killing the ranger. I believe Lycum was looking for you. I believe he may have a little task that needs your kind of abilities. You'll be well rewarded, of course. Well, that's good. I might be able to get to that last level pretty easily. So where the fuck is Lycum? Lycum. Not over here. I will say things like that sometimes make me feel a little better about like playing a game where I'm just murdering people for a while. Gets some of the negative emotions out, huh? Ah, there's Lycum. Okay, well let's see what the new quest is. Well, let's report to Fargrak. Well, Fargrak usually has something to say about the new quest, so let's see what the new quest is first. And then I'll sell shit. Lycum, friend. Where are you? Hello, my friend. I'm Lycum. I'm the leader of this organization. I've had very good reports from you from Musvik. The way you dealt with Travio impressed me. I may have something well rewarded. Of course, that would need your special skills. Would you be interested in working for us once again? Always ready to send another client onto the other side. I'm listening. Very good. This time the name of the client is unknown to us. You may have already heard about some incidents regarding caravan attacks near Yartar recently. Well, we didn't do those. The ones who did do them didn't have authorization from the guild. This causes many problems for our organization. The Water Baroness thinks we're responsible. Which brings us to your task. We've been spying on all the merchants and nobles of Yartar for a while. We've been able to find one that, by coincidence, seemed to prosper a little bit 2 or 3 days after each attack. Uh, His name is Elmer. We've sent a note to him, a little warning, just to see how he'd react. Seems that he didn't like that at all, because we've been unable to find him ever since. His 2 sons have also disappeared. The last time we saw Elmer, he was staying at the Pearl. Maybe he thought it would be safer there. Anyway, your task would be to track him down, and once you find him, use every possible means. Oh, I guess maybe I will get to torture someone. Oh dear. To acquire the information we seek. We need to know who attacked the caravan. Do you understand the task at hand? Yes, I'll return with the information. All right, new quest. I do look kind of cool, don't I? My character. Well, I've depressed myself. That is what it is. Best to know. It's best to know, as painful as it is, to know things than to not know them. I like this guy just randomly dead on the altar. That I didn't notice that before. That's funny. All right, let's talk to Fargreg. What can I do for you? I found a taggart leaf. Very good. My concoction is almost finished. I'll need a few more things. Which remind me. See, a friend of mine named Ern Hum should have arrived at Beldabar's, and he should have brought me a container of very special, deadly scorpions. I'll need them for my mixture. Can you go over and get them for me? Sure. Anything else I can do for you? Oh, new dialogue. Tell me more about how we're going to destroy the city. Khalid potion is almost ready. So are you. Yatar is very close to a crisis that will claim many lives, but it will not be enough to completely destroy the city. Before this is over, you will have to control many, many people. How? Patience, my friend. First, let me talk to you about the most efficient way to control the weak, and that is through fear. How do you expect us to destroy the city if you don't understand fear? When someone fears you, he can be controlled easily. Fear is a weapon that never fails. Tell me more. There's a great potential in the north. A vast army could be built easily with many soldiers, fearless, merciless, and strong. Of course, I should add, stupid and easily controlled. That's exactly what we need. They also bring fear to their enemies, and they could do it for us. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Well, probably not hobgoblins. I'm going to say orcs. Or trolls. Trolls. Not really. Trolls are easily controlled, but you'll never be able to build any good army with them. Hobgoblins? If we could find a large tribe not far from here, it would be the best choice. I didn't know that. Hobgoblins are made for warfare. You won't find a tribe near Yartar. So orcs, then. Exactly. Orcs. And do you want to know how you use them? Yes. Fear. When the time comes, you will learn what an easy puppet an orc can be. Fear is your most valuable weapon. Learn this lesson well. Okay? Anything else I can do? I must go. Okay, let's see. No hints about Lycum's quest. Okay. So let's go sell shit and see what we got, and then I'm probably gonna call it a night. Svenguli was good tonight. Um, let's go sell shit. I do like having a giant sword. Look at that giant sword. It's just awesome. Hey, halfling one. Can you let me sell you shit? And identify shit. Alright, let's see what we got. Let's sell some pixie dust. I don't think there's anything really the pixie dust is useful for, but if it ever comes up that I need one, it's good for me to know exactly where I sold it. So that's why I sell everything here. Um, because I have had that thing where I've tried to find things I've sold in various shops before, and it's never fun. Though a little easier with Cameron's thing, I think, because you can access store inventories easier, but that's beside the point. Stone skin. Alright, we'll put that there, because those are spells I can use. Will I ever use them? Probably not. It's good to have. Fairy dust, fairy dust, fairy dust, fairy dust. Fairy dust. I'm keeping that. Those are fun. Alright. You never know when you might not want to zap someone. Either through torture, maybe sex. You never know. Things happen. Alright. Oh, the clubs sell for a decent amount. 500 a piece? That's nice. And this quarterstaff is useless, as is the hide armor. So hardiness or reflexes? Um. Oh, yeah, we're gonna go with hardiness. Let's sell the reflexes. Extra point of con. Very good. Reflexes aren't bad, but you know, it's a scale. All right. Oh, I bash my locks. Abigail does not pick locks. Let's be honest here. Abigail will never pick a lock. Oh shit. Ah, I didn't mean to do that. Fuck. When did I save last? Alright, gonna have to reload, because I am not wasting a potion, even a crap potion. Let's be honest here. It's all crap potions, but still. Alright, time to resell shit. Do do. Do do. Do do. Do do. Hi, what do you want? Come here, baby. What's this one do? Alright, fine. Ooh, Ring of Animal Friendship. Okay. Ooh, it sells for a decent amount, too. Nice. Abigail does not want to make friends with animals, let's be honest here. Abigail is a many things, but friendly to animals, not so much. She's kind of a bitch. I can say that because she's my character. I thought there was another ring I got somewhere, but maybe not. Oh well. Okay, we're gonna sell the boots of reflexes and put on the boots of hardiness. Cause I like that con bonus. Sell the thieves tools. I don't fucking I think Abigail is actually a teetotaler. I don't think she likes the idea of spirits fucking around with her perception. She's got vengeance to get, damn it. The longbow is nice. We're gonna keep that, I think. Sell the trap. We don't fucking need a trap. What's the armor? Chainmail +2. What am I wearing? Splint mail. No bonus. Well, I think we are going to get chainmail +2. One sec. Oh, now that's a satisfying jingle. A lot of repeat work for the sake of one cure matter. It is, but I'm willing to do it. You're not wrong though. Breastplate +2. Ah, that sounds nice. I like how the clubs are worth like so much more than the actual thing. I'm sorry. Look of movement. Okay, we're keeping that because you never know when you might not, when you might need a freedom. And cloaks are lightweight, so we're gonna keep it. All right, and okay. So, what do we want? Let's buy some potions. Ring of Hiding. I might have to go elsewhere and get some actual stuff, but in the meantime. We'll go with some Cure Serious too. And then we'll call it a night, I think. I kitten. What are you up to? You making weird noises at me? Weird squeaky noises? Yep. Alright, there we go. Alright. I think that's good. I think we're gonna save. New murders. There we go. I feel like that expresses my opinion about a lot of things. Alright. My wicked laughter scared my cat. Alright. Oh, now you get to look at the screen while I figure out who I'm gonna raid to. So, I know Emmy was on earlier, but is she still on? I don't know. Someone's playing Final Fantasy XIV. A Realm Reborn. That's nice. I like watching people play that. Uh, Retro Gaming Backlog is playing Super Paper Mario Day. Kane Highwind is playing Final Fantasy XVI. That's a good one. Ah, no spoilers. Mm. Stay tuned. Should watch him play. I wonder if he's still got his day one VOD up. Oh, Emmy's on. So I'm probably gonna raid Emmy because Emmy is an IRL friend. Ooh, Wizard Tower Boy is on playing D&D with Mr. Crappy, Craig Cake, and Magdalene. You know what? As much as I like Emmy, I think we're gonna raid the D&D players. Oh, that's cool. There we go. Good.